I can't seem to keep my example short, but I wanted to do a couple more. This one anyway, just to show that your data types for your elements can be anything. So this is going to be characters. So just to review, this is how you make an array of 5 characters. Use the literal number 5 here, or anything, actually any integer that equals whatever number. Any integer can go here. But once you call new char, and that value that's in there, whatever it is, that's how big your array is. It has to be an integer though. So it's going to be an array of size 5. So what this means is I can store 5 characters in this. And the address, the memory address of the first one, I never said it this way before, but what this will do, this will return the memory address of letters sub 0. Well, it'll return the memory address of the sub 0 element in this char array. And that memory address will be what the value of letters is, this variable letters. The declaration of the variable called letters, and by the way, it's not 100% a convention, but it's kind of a tendency that if you have an array of something, you put an S on it to show that, one letter would be char letter, right? And then char brackets letters would be an array of letters. So you use the data type char, square brackets that are empty before the name, and then the name of you can call it the name of the array. What it really is an array variable that holds the reference to the first element of the array, the beginning of the array. But you can kind of think of letters as being your array of characters now. So the picture of what all this right here does, this first line, let's see if I can do this without zooming. I know how to get out of it now, I think. But so I'll draw my little skinny box. That's my symbol for an array. This is an array of size 5 again, because it's short enough I don't have to draw a lot. That's honestly why I'm using it. Index 1, index 2, index 0, which is the first element, index 1, which is the second, index 2, index 3, index 4. So first, second, third, fourth, fifth element. Right now they don't really have any values for sure, but we're going to assign random ones to them. I don't know if you remember this. I think we had a lab where we did something like this. This is going to generate a random number between 0 and 1, and we're going to cast it to a character, which is kind of an integer type. So this is going to give us, starting with the letter A, it's going to go up to 26, but it's multiplying. If you multiply 26 by something less than 1 and truncate, you're really getting 0 through 25. So you're adding 0 through 25 to this. And then basically we're getting a random letter, and we're going to assign it to wherever we're at in the loop. So we start at 0, and remember letters.length. So right now that's 5. So it's going to go to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what this loop does, this part, just this code right here is going to say, let me do this too. Name this letters. Writing with this is not easy on a mouse, but so the name of this array is letters. Really what letters is, again, is the memory address of this first element. But really the beginning of the object in Java probably, actually. But that's neither here nor there. But you can think of it as being the name of the array. So it'll randomly generate, in this case, when I ran it before, it randomly generated a G. So there's a G there. If you want to symbolize that it's a literal G value, then you might put single quotes around it. It's not really strictly necessary. But then on the second iteration of the loop, it generated an X and assigned it to letter sub 1. On the third iteration of the loop, so letter sub 2, it's going to put a W in there. On the fourth iteration of the loop, in other words, when I is equal to 3 and the index is 3, so this subscript has a 3 in it, it's going to assign a V. And on the fourth iteration of the loop, it randomly generated an I. Alright, so there, like that. And then when incremented one more time to 5, 5 is not less than letters.length. Letters.length is 5. 5 is not less than 5. So it exited the loop and I went down here. And it printed them out. So first it printed out letter sub 0, G. And then a new line. Notice this %C for character. and that's what this is. This is a character. Also, I should say this too, the elements. Remember I said that this whole thing with the subscript is an element? Remember the data type. Letters sub anything, if you have an array of letters, is a character, one character. Which character is it? When this is 0 in here, it'll be G in this case. The character that this is, and again, see, it's a character because right there's the placeholder for characters. I'm putting out one character. Each element in the array is one character, one integer, one double, whatever your top of your array is. So when this is 1, it prints out an X, then a new line. Then it prints out a W when it's on 2, and then a new line. And then it prints out a V when it's on 3, and then a new line. And then when it's on 4, when there's a 4 in here, when I is actually 4, letter sub 4 is this right here, the I, prints out the I, and then a new line. So that's a really quick, it's still 6 minutes. But that's with characters.